I gotta say, the new look Caitlin Clark, it's not gonna be good for opponents. It's really not. Like, look at how much bigger she's gotten. Like, yeah, Stephanie White saying Caitlin Clark's gotten stronger. Yeah, Caitlin Clark has gotten stronger.
It happened again. Another game, another brutal hit, and once again, the referees turned a blind eye. Caitlin Clark has faced constant harassment, bullying, and even outright assaults on the court, and those in charge are doing nothing to stop it.
I watched Angel Reese taking on Caitlin Clark, and I gotta tell you, I caught the game in the third quarter, and as I watched the game, it was evident to me, and probably evident to a lot of you if you played or you coached, I know many of you do, that there's a distinct difference between the two teams.
Now, new footage has surfaced, something we've never seen before. A moment so powerful and emotional that even coach Stephanie White couldn't hold back her tears. So, what exactly happened, and how did we end up here? Get ready, because this is where the Indiana Fever drama really takes off.
New reaction after this controversial foul on Caitlin Clark.
Unnecessary.
Clark's Indiana Fever taking on the Chicago Sky on Saturday. The Sky's Kennedy Carter hitting a shot, then heading over to Clark and shoulder checking her. The refs called it a common foul, but the league yesterday...
Let's be honest, rookies in the WNBA have always had to fight for respect. But what's happening to Caitlin Clark? This is no longer just about proving yourself, it's something much bigger. From the moment she stepped onto the court, Caitlin has been targeted. Cheap shots, shoves, and full-on assaults that should be flagrant fouls are happening right in front of the refs, yet they're doing nothing about it. And what do the WNBA veterans say? Oh, that's just part of the game, she's a rookie, she has to earn her place, this is how it's always been. Really? Name one player, just one, who has gone through even a fraction of what Caitlin Clark is dealing with. The truth is, no one has. And that's when it hits you, this isn't basketball anymore.
Caitlin Clark has personally received 17% of the flagrant fouls called. Literally, she's been fouled 70 on flagrant fouls. 17% of them have been against her personally. We spoke about the Cheryl Swoop situation. We've spoke about the numbers, the ratings. We've spoken about the resentment that Caitlin Clark has been receiving, not by most, not by all, but by, to be quite honest, too many. If you had your druthers moving forward, looking at the rest of this WNBA season, looking at the state of women's basketball moving forward, what's your wish and what needs to happen in order for your wish to be achieved and fulfilled? Last word is yours.
Well, what you just said is true. 17%, that's five of those fouls of 32 have been on Caitlin Clark. That's where we get the 17% from. And those were earlier in the season. And I think she's passed the physicality test. By the way, pace, space, it will out-trump physicality every day of the week, like when the Mavericks won the championship in 2011 and they had Jason Kidd and they were playing Miami and LeBron. And no matter how good, how fast, how athletic, how high you jump,
when Diana Taurasi threw an elbow, it was an immediate flagrant foul. When Brittany Griner got hit, the whistle blew right away. But when Caitlin Clark gets slammed to the ground, silence. Nothing. Play on. It feels like there are two sets of rules, one for everyone else, and one for Caitlin Clark. But why? Because this isn't just about basketball. It's about something much bigger.
Harassed by Carrington. Finds Boston. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down. Caitlin Clark is down. No call as Connecticut takes advantage. And Clark is still down after taking a shot.
The refs aren't just letting physical play slide, they're enforcing an unspoken rule. A rule that says Caitlin Clark deserves this because of who she is. And that's when things take a darker turn. The WNBA wants us to believe this is just tough rookie treatment, but let's be real, this is political. Look at who's doing the fouling, and look at who's getting hit. It's okay to take cheap shots at Caitlin Clark if you're part of the right group. It's okay to throw an elbow if you say the right things afterward.
One-on-one, Sammy Whitcomb with 8 seconds left. Goes around to Gumake, drives baseline, and shot rejected by Izzy McMagor. Second opportunity is up and in by Nalissa Smith.
For some people in this league, Caitlin Clark represents something they can't stand. She's not just a rookie, she's a symbol. And that's why the refs aren't protecting her. That's why players are getting away with this. And that's why this latest footage is so heartbreaking. It came after one of the hardest hits yet. Caitlin Clark was shoved again, brutally, sending her crashing to the floor. No call. Nothing. And as Caitlin got up, you could see it in her face: frustration, exhaustion, disbelief.
New reaction after this controversial foul on Caitlin Clark.
Unnecessary.
Clark's Indiana Fever taking on the Chicago Sky on Saturday. The Sky's Kennedy Carter hitting a shot, then heading over to Clark and shoulder checking her. The refs called it a common foul, but the league yesterday.
But the real turning point came from coach Stephanie White. For the first time, she lost it. You could see the emotion, the helplessness, the anger, the realization that this is no longer just basketball. In that moment, it was clear, enough is enough. So what happens now? Will the WNBA finally step in? Will the refs start calling the game fairly? Or is this just the start of something even worse? One thing is for sure, Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. And if they thought they could break her, they were dead wrong.
Me, I. And here's the thing about Reese. Players are smart. Really smart. Players see what's going on here, the ones on her own team. Down 25, the coach is keeping her in the game to get 2 rebounds to get a double-double, or get 3 points to get a double-double. Players look at that and they under-eye, they side-eye, they're like, that's crap. And the media's falling for it, right? I mean, look, I saw yesterday, Stephen A. Smith said, Caitlin Clark is the Rookie of the Year. Oh, my ass. All you had to do was watch that game last night. One's a lumbering, stumbling, bumbling me person, and the other's a baller. B-A-L-L-er. Baller. And one of the reasons...
She's been carrying the league on her back since day one, and no matter how many times they knock her down, she's going to get right back up.
Again, it's one of those things where you've got Caitlin Clark, a player who, as great as she was not physically strong last season. We can admit that. Like, she was not the most physically strong player in the world. And she still had one of the better rookie seasons ever.
So, what happens when a player is constantly harassed, shoved, and beaten up on the court? They have 2 choices: either break under the pressure or rise above it. Caitlin Clark? She's chosen to rise. After months of relentless targeting and being slammed to the floor one too many times, Caitlin made a decision. It was time to hit the gym. And we're not talking about just regular team workouts. No, Caitlin has taken it to a whole new level: strength training, conditioning, endurance work. She's fully locked in. This isn't just about survival anymore, this is about domination. She's bulking up, packing on lean muscle, strengthening her core, and building the kind of power that will make defenders think twice before trying to knock her down again. The result? Coach Stephanie White is beyond impressed.
The Caitlin Clark effect is not dying. I don't feel like we have seen a dip in just, how do I even put this into words? Just how much people care about Caitlin Clark, care about what she's doing. She has not touched a basketball court. We've seen one workout video from the Indiana Fever. We have not seen her play for however many months. People are still so tapped in and tuned into her life, tuned into the Indiana Fever, tuned into all the Indiana Fever's moves. Like, I felt like there was a moment in time, there was a week where all this free agency stuff was happening, and it was so exciting. And I cannot remember at any point in time where there was a moment like that in the WNBA where people were just locked in, like, what is this team going to do? Where is this player going to go? And they captured the fans during this off season. And I feel like this second season, her second season in the league, the second year for the Indiana Fever when they're at this stage, it's probably just going to get bigger. They've already announced that the games played in Chicago are going to be played at the NBA arena. So they're already starting to move to different arenas when they go into these smaller cities. And I just don't see the Caitlin Clark effect, the growth of women's basketball slowing down.
When Caitlin Clark first stepped into the league, she had incredible skill, vision, and a deep three-point shot that made defenders sweat. But let's be real, she was lean and more of a finesse player in a league that values brute force. That's why some of the WNBA's toughest players took advantage, pushing, pulling, elbowing, and slamming her to the ground, knowing she wasn't at their physical level. But now, Coach Stephanie White has been watching Caitlin's transformation, and the results are undeniable. Caitlin isn't just taking the hits anymore, she's delivering them right back. Coach White has been vocal about how Caitlin's commitment to strength training has completely changed her game. Her endurance is up, her explosiveness is sharper, her defensive stance is stronger, and most importantly, she's no longer an easy target. This isn't the same Caitlin Clark who entered the WNBA as a rookie. Now, she's got the stamina to go toe-to-toe with any tough player. The ones who thought they could rough her up, the ones who tried to intimidate her with cheap shots and hard fouls? They're in for a rude awakening. Caitlin isn't backing down anymore, she's fighting back.
Like everyone's talking about how much stronger Caitlin Clark's gotten. Like, it is just factually a thing. And look at the size difference. In 1 year? So you're now looking at a player that is just a tank. You're looking at a player who's big, who's strong, who's who's going to be able to continue to do everything she's doing. Like, she's not too big, which is obviously a big thing. If she was too big, then you'd be a little bit worried, but she's not too big. She is obviously going to be a lot stronger, but now you're looking at a situation where she's going to be one of the not stronger guards in WNBA, but she's going to be strong enough on the defensive end that's going to help her.
And it's not just about handling the contact, it's about winning those battles. When a defender tries to body her up, she's holding her ground. When they try to shove her off the ball, she's pushing right back. But the real game changer? Caitlin Clark now has the biceps to match. That's right, the days of being physically overmatched are behind her. The transformation is clear, she's stronger, tougher, and ready to go to war every single game.
The reason why it was so hard to hide Caitlin Clark on defense is that she's not very good at guarding point guards, and you can't really put her guarding small forwards, just purely because, guarding small forwards purely because they're just physically bigger than she is. And she was getting posted up a lot. They were attacking her on the inside. They were getting her on switches.
For months, the WNBA tried to send Caitlin Clark a message: you don't belong here. You're not tough enough. You're not one of us. Well, guess what? She heard that message loud and clear. And now she's sending one right back. This isn't just about surviving anymore, it's about taking over. Caitlin Clark 2.0 is here. The next time a so-called veteran thinks they can knock her down, they might just find themselves hitting the floor instead. From the moment the Indiana Fever drafted Caitlin Clark, one thing became crystal clear: this franchise wasn't just picking up another player, they were building a future around her. She wasn't brought in to be just another scorer or role player. She was seen as the pivot, the centerpiece of a bigger project aimed at redefining the Indiana Fever and making a real impact in the WNBA. Now, with a roster strategically built to complement her skills, that vision is becoming a reality. This offseason, the Fever's front office made bold moves, bringing in experienced veterans through free agency, all with the goal of unlocking the best version of Caitlin Clark. Notable additions include Dawanna Borner, a 15-year veteran and two-time WNBA champion. Borner brings a wealth of experience and versatility to the team, with the ability to stretch the floor and play multiple positions, providing Caitlin with a reliable scoring option and a mentor for navigating the league's challenges. Also rejoining the Fever is defensive powerhouse Sylvia Fowles, a three-time WNBA champion and former Defensive Player of the Year. Her defensive skills and championship mentality are invaluable assets, giving Caitlin a strong partner on both ends of the court.
Well, this is what makes this team so tough. You look at Big Sil inside, Sylvia Fowles and Shepard. Nice pass to Sophie Cunningham.
Taurasi, baseline jumper. This is everything, but Sophie Cunningham